Hello and welcome to your real estate journey, expert tips for buyers and sellers. I'm Dolly Lopez, your realtor and broker in the state of Florida and Kentucky. And as you know, in this podcast, we provide you with a lot of advices to make informed and educated decisions in your finance world. And today I am joined by one of our attorneys, Myrna. She's a state attorney. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so excited to have you on board and have you today because you always give us a bunch of information of topics that we normally don't hear a
Mhm.
whole lot about. So today we're going to talk about guardianship. So what's guardianship?
Guardianship is a court proceeding in which someone is appointed guardian over someone that is incapacitated, or maybe they are a minor child that has access to property, and that property needs to be managed by a legal adult.
Okay. So how many types of guardianships are there?
There's various types of guardianships. There's a guardianship of the person, there's a guardianship of the property. There are also temporary guardianships that are out there, both voluntary and involuntary guardianships as well.
Okay. How the guardianship that it's not permanent, how long are they normally good for?
In Florida, they are good for about 90 days. And at that point, there has to be a new guardianship proceeding started. And otherwise, the guardianship process just ends.
Okay. And is there any alternatives to guardianship?
Yes, there are various alternatives to guardianship. So we think of guardianship as the the tool of last resort if there's nothing less restrictive to implement. So if someone has a financial power of attorney or a trust or healthcare directives, in some situations, that will prevent the need for a guardianship. If the person who's trying to help the person who needs help there's a legal mechanism through that document to help them. Also, if the person, for example, say they're an elder and they're incapacitated, if they receive certain government benefits like veterans benefits or social security benefits, there's a process within those government departments of appointing a representative payee for those funds.
Without having the need to go through the court process and get a
Correct.
guardianship appointed.
Correct. But the authorization of the person who is appointed as representative payee, that is limited to those funds. It's not for everything that the person has. It's just for those funds. And in some situations that is fine and that's all that they need, so they won't need a guardianship.
Okay, and what are the rights of an adult who has been appointed a guardian? If there's any rights at all.
Okay, so the person who has been appointed a guardian, they're called the ward. And that person, if they have capacity, they have a duty to be informed so they have a right to be informed of the annual accounting so that they know how their money is being used. The ward has a right, if they have the ability to petition the court for the removal and substitution of their guardian, or maybe to end the guardianship case in those situations. And that's, of course, in situations where if the ward recovers their capacity. They have other rights as well, but those are some examples of rights.
Now, let me ask, does this guardianship gets paid or compensated in any way?
Yes, there are ways for a ward to be compensated. And it really just depends on the type of guardian that it is, and if there are sufficient funds that belong to the ward to compensate the guardian. The guardian, as a general rule, does have a right to be reimbursed for costs and expenses that they've incurred on behalf of the ward.
Good, okay. Now,
Mhm.
and one last question, Myrna. So, whenever someone is in this unfortunate position where they know one of their loved ones they need to be taken care of and potentially look for a you know be appointed as a guardian to care financially or whatnot for this other person, what is the first step that they should do? When would someone know, hey, each time let me look for an attorney to help me with this process? What would be like the first initiative? Like, okay, this is I should definitely be looking for guidance.
So one thing that will usually happen is the doctors or the nurses will have a conversation with the family if they notice that their older relative is having trouble understanding things, or they're really relying more and more on their family member. So usually they get advice from the doctor's office. Or if the family member is managing their finances or paying bills and they start seeing resistance from third parties to share information or to be able to do certain things, they realize at that point that they need a legal document that they can use to facilitate the help that they're trying to give. Also, people do tend to realize sometimes a little too late that they can't um, sign any additional legal documents because maybe the person's dementia has progressed too much. And so at that point, it may be too late to do something like a power of attorney. And then we have to start looking at our guardianship possibilities.
Got it. Makes sense. Myrna, thank you so much. I have enjoyed this conversation and I hope you guys watch it at home have as well. Remember, we're here to assist you in your journey to success in the not only in the real estate world, but in the finance as well. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are in Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. So you won't miss any of our episodes. Feel free to reach out to Myrna if you have any legal questions. If it's something that she won't be able to help, she definitely has some colleagues that she can refer you to.
Mhm.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to your real estate journey, expert tips for buyers and sellers, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye. See you next time.